Bethune this past Saturday, and it was a lot of fun. And it wasn't much fun when it was going on for me because it was a tight game, and as you're going through these games, it's sometimes a little bit challenging. Our defense, we thought, will play really well. These are our goals. Each week we have a set of goals for our defense, and I don't go through these very often because most times we don't actually reach very many of them. Most times if you're playing a good team, you play a great game, you get about half. If you're playing a kind of medium team, you get more, but most times you kind of on the lower end of these things. There's 12 of them. And it starts with allow less than 10 points, and our defense was a yes. We allowed 7 points. No big plays. Runs of 15 yards or passes of 20 yards. Well, that was a no for us because we had one run of 18 yards and 2 passes, one for 42 yards, one for 20. We actually gave a 42-yard pass on that second play of the game. It was their only offensive score. Allow less than 150 yards a game passing. Yes, we allowed 122 yards. Allow less than 100 yards per game rushing. Yes, we allowed 53 yards. And this is a team that actually led our league in almost all offensive categories. Allow less than 33% on third down. Yes, we allowed 23%. Set up our defense, set up our offense for a score. Yes, we gave our offense the ball inside the 35-yard line. Scored one time on defense. We scored one time on defense. Justin Hughes picked up a screen ball and ran in for a score. Caused 3 turnovers. Yes, we caused 4. Intercept 1 in 12 passes. Yes, we intercepted 3 passes out of 25 attempts. Sacked quarterback 1 in 10 times. Javon Hargraves himself sacked quarterback 6 times, but we had 9 sacks. We pressed quarterback 1 in 4, and no defensive penalty. We had 1 defensive penalty. But what that amounted to was out of 12 goals, we were successful in 10 of them, which is the most that we've had in any game in over a year. And it was one of those kind of games where we had a lot of guys that play well. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to be selected as honorable mention player of the game, which is very unusual. Most of the time I had to get on our defense and I said, this guy played pretty good. At least give them a bone. They don't, they really don't hardly ever give any of these guys many accolades because they try to force them. They're always trying to encourage them to play better. But we had Curtis Hill, one of our big defensive tackles, who's kind of a in the phone booth kind of guy. If it's right there, he can just reach and get it, that's fine. But if he got that one way over there, got to do something, no, that ain't him. So this guy, is all over the place making plays. Alex Love, one of our defensive ends, had all kinds of sacks. Philip Henry from over Manning. A lot of these kids, Curtis is from Columbia, and Alex Love is from Charlotte. Philip Henry is from Manning. This boy, I can't think of his name. Trey Smith is from Columbia, and James Sellers from Adams. All these are kind of local kids, so this is what really excites you. But all those guys played so well until we couldn't decide which one of them should have been the best player in the whole deal. But add to the mix that we had another group of guys that were even better than them. Hargraves had 6 sacks and all kinds of stuff. Antonio Hamilton, the guy with the punt return, had the interception, just all kinds of nice plays. And Reggie Owens, one of our other defensive ends. So this was a game that our defense played about as well as they could play under the circumstances, and we asked them to do this because we knew going into the game that our offense would struggle some, and the biggest thing we asked our offense to do was not to turn the football over, just point it back to the other team and let our defense work from there. Well, toward the end of the game, we turned the football over 3 times in a row. We turned over 2 times in a row, which was bad enough. But we come right back after that, and we actually turn over for a score. We're up 14-7, and we're thinking that we're going to kind of have to win this football game. I'm on the sideline trying to figure out how to get the clock to run out. We had 50-something seconds. We got 1. They've got no timeouts. We are figuring that we can get the clock down by the end of the last snap before we have to point on 4th down to 16 seconds. And while I'm working on, trying to make all this come together, talking about whether we're going to take a safety or some of that kind of stuff, we fumble the football on that third down play. They pick it up and walk in for a score. So now we 14-7, it's 14-all. It's better at that point, because at this point, you just kind of, you're in shock of sorts. So then, they go onside for us and get it, but we get it back somehow or another. And on the first play, we throw it to our receiver, Austin Smith, and he scores. He actually is out there about 8-10 yards, I guess, maybe from the line of scrimmage. And who was that? My daughter. And instead of them tackling the guy, they're trying to rip the ball away from him because they think they can get away from him and get a score and that kind of stuff. And we break it and run the score. That's how we win the football game. So it was the craziest minute and a half that you could ever imagine. From going to thinking you had a game won, to thinking you had a game lost, to thinking you had a game won. I didn't want to go into overtime because we weren't doing anything on offense, but now I wanted to tell Bethune's guy, because he was saying, well, they gave us the game. Well, if we go in overtime, I don't think their offense can do anything either. I thought our defense had them stop coaching. I thought our defense played as good as they could play. So even though it would have been I don't want to go into overtime deal, I didn't think we were any worse off than than we were in regulation if it had been a start from scratch kind of deal. So it was a fun deal, and the excitement of our guys, of our players this week in practice. When you're practicing in the morning at 6:30 in the morning and it's kind of cool, all that kind of stuff, you can say what you want to say. But it ain't a lot of fun being out there at 6 o'clock every morning. Let me tell you, our practices have been as lively, our guys have been excited as I've seen in a long time. So it's been fun to watch them go through this week in preparation for Savannah. I can remember the previous 2 years when we were practicing for Savannah, when Bethune had beaten us the 2 years before. It was awful. And Savannah has not been very good. But at the same time, it was more about what we had done than it was about the upcoming team. So we were having a hard time getting ourselves. But it's been fun this week to see those guys get ready. So I'm looking forward to seeing us play this Saturday. This is homecoming. We need every living soul there possible. It'll be exciting, to see our guys come back out and play in front of a nice crowd. The crowd last Saturday was not quite as good as I would like, but we kind of knew it was kind of sandwiched between Youth Day and homecoming. Anytime you got those two big crowds there, it's always hard to fit in that in between crowd. But we were decent enough. We had about 11,000, but we need at least 15,000, 20,000 average. So that means for this weekend's game against Savannah, we need 25,000 there to make that average come back up again. So let me tell you something. If you know somebody who's who just got to hang it out, grab them, and you both y'all come and buy a ticket, come in, please. Thank you. We'd like to see you there this coming Saturday. I think the excitement of it all, the fun of it all, I think will be immeasurable. So come on, let's get it done. Now.